Good morning, this is Irene with BrainStormAcres, and this morning I'm going to be transplanting these little seedlings. This morning I'm going to be transplanting these little seedlings that I started in the house into my fancy solo cup flower pots. Now, if you haven't been following us, I used these this summer because I simply ran out of flower pots, and honestly I couldn't afford to spend $100 on another set of flower pots at that moment. But I had, these were probably 4 or 5 years old, sitting in the cupboard. We very rarely use plastic cups. They were left over from when we were responsible for bringing plastic cups to a get-together. And all I did was poke 3 holes in the bottom of each cup with an awl and instant flower pot. If I take good care of them, these have already worked for this season. They should work all winter. They may die sometime next year. I usually get 2 or 3 years worth out of them before they croak. So let's get started. Romaine lettuce. Okay, romaine is done. On to SaladOVA green oak leaf. One way to extend the life expectancy of these solo cups is to actually use some other kind of container to scooping them into the dirt, especially when they've been used a little bit. They get more brittle. And this is an old sour cream container, and that's a naturally more pliable plastic, so that actually works really well for scooping. Eventually they break, but geez, it usually takes about 4 or 5 years at least. And since we're fans of sour cream, we have no difficulty producing more of these. All right. Next, SaladOVA green butter lettuce. This is actually the first year that we've ever grown SaladOVA. I've been hearing about it extensively. They just touted it as the best thing since sliced bread. Well, it's expensive because it's a patented plant. Our SaladOVA was badly damaged by thrips and other things. It formed beautiful heads. It was delicious. It was tender. It was just amazing. So we had a few seeds left over, and we decided, what the heck, we'll try it again this fall. We have to decide in the long run whether it's worth it for us, because although we really love fresh lettuce, unless we can come up with a better system to avoid some of the bug problems, we're better off sticking with a cheaper seed so that if it fails, we don't feel so bad. We didn't want to buy any gigantic containers knowing we didn't have a place to grow them. We decided we would try growing them in the greenhouse this fall, hoping that the thrips and stuff were mostly done, and that we maybe be able to get a harvest off this fall, because I still have an aversion to buying lettuce in the grocery store. The number of times that I have bought lettuce and then been told I needed to throw it away is ridiculous, and technically, you know, you could drive back to the grocery store and trade it in, but the problem is it worth traveling an hour or more in some cases round trip? No, sometimes it's not. Got the SaladOVAs, black-seeded Simpson, which I have grown before, but not in 20 years probably. I used to grow that. That was my standard a million years ago. But we're going to experiment and see what happens, and we'll keep you posted. The next one is SaladOVA Green Sweet Crisp. Now what I did learn about Green Sweet Crisp was that if you are in any kind of a messy environment, wood chips, straw, because we had tried planting them right next to our straw. We had a heck of a time because of our high winds. It had blown the straw bits and all kinds of stuff all over the place. We had a heck of a time getting them clean enough to eat. Now, once we did get them clean enough to eat, they were just delightful. But we found that this very spiky, interwoven plant was actually hard to clean. Now, if you have a very nice, clean environment that's easy to do stuff, go for it. I probably, even if I do decide to grow SaladOVA again, will probably not choose this variety for that reason. I need something that's easier for me to clean the leaves on. So we'll see how it goes this fall. I mean, maybe I'll have a totally different opinion after growing them in here, and I'll say, oh, gotta have that. But we'll see. They were delicious. They were really delicious, but hard to clean. To go get my watering can. This one here is too harsh for doing what I need to do, which is to water them in gently. So I'll be right back again. Now, in case anyone's wondering why I set those trays on the floor, I think you can probably see it in this video. I'm putting them in the shade. The ground is cooler. They're in the partial shade of the table, and we'll give them probably all today down there. I may lift them up, we'll see, later today. But gives them just a little extra protection because they just got jangled around pretty well, and they're sitting in big trays of water to raise the humidity level and hopefully make their transition a bit better. We were incredibly happy with the results from that pak choi. So we decided that we would definitely plant some more again this fall. It's got a little leggier than I would prefer, but we're going to make it work anyway. And I know from experience last time that it is important to plant each plant in its own container. I think I put 2 seeds in each of these cells, which means I have to split each cell, which is kind of annoying. I honestly wasn't sure they'd all come up, and of course they did, which is a good thing. However, these ones that are laying over onto it next door are cabbages. These little seedlings are all tangled up. I'm trying not to damage them at all. Let's see, that's that plant. This is like trying to do a puzzle, figuring out which plant goes where. I just broke a leaf. That's not good. Oh well. Now I have this entire tray of seedlings potted up. There's one row of lettuce here that did not come up. Now, green star leaf lettuce. Last time it took, I want to say, a week or so more for that to come up. I need to check. That may be an old seed pack. It did come up eventually, so I've got to decide what I'm going to do about that. Whether I may just leave it there and plant around it. But let's take a quick tour. I still need to water these guys. But these have all been watered and they've been soaked. The trays have been soaked with water. And I'll monitor that very carefully for the next 24 hours. I'm doing the same thing with these guys still because I need to raise the amount of humidity in here. Even though these have been sitting for a while longer. This seedling just popped up this morning, so I want to make sure that everybody's got plenty of juice. I don't have enough room down here for everything, so I'm also putting some over here on this bottom shelf because it's got this this roof, which is actually just a piece of plastic insulation board, but that gives it partial shade, so it's not going to be in direct sun this afternoon. We're actually not getting a lot of direct sun today. We're actually kind of getting a sort of a mishmash. But that's okay. We've got some clouds coming through. We've got pop-up cells and storms today, so impossible to know how much solar we'll get. But I'm going to put at least one more tray down here, probably two. It'll give it a little bit of shade, and that's what I want to do. Is I want to give it a good start today. Hopefully, this gives you a nice peek into our fall planting schedule. It's crazy this year. We're trying all kinds of new things. We're trying new seedlings in the greenhouse that we've never done before, and follow along with us. It may get exciting, you could never tell. So until next time, keep on growing, have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, whoops, I fall off the chair.